I'd always been very, very healthy. I didn't have high cholesterol, I never had high blood pressure. Blood work was always impeccable. I worked out daily for the most part. Like I would lift 4 or 5 times a week. I ride every day or 6 days a week. I think for people that knew me, friends and family and coworkers and stuff, it was shocking to be like, how do you have this? My name is Joe Opella. I'm an athletic trainer, 39 years old, and I was diagnosed with stage 3 rectal cancer in June of 2023. Before being diagnosed, my wife and I were just kind of living our family life. We had just had our boys, they had just turned 1 year old, and we were just doing all kind of the new family things, like just trying to survive infancy and toddlerhood. We were just starting to kind of settle down into our life of a family of 4. It was probably like late winter, early spring of 2023. I noticed I was starting to have some bleeding when I went to the bathroom. I didn't really give this much thought at first. I just thought, it was something maybe I ate something wrong, maybe I have just a little something going on in my stomach, a day or two and this will pass. I woke up from the colonoscopy like, how'd I do? And they were like, we found something that we're pretty confident is a tumor and we need to go do more testing right away to make sure it hasn't spread.
I was kind of out of it from the colonoscopy, so I don't think I really grasped the gravity of it.
And then my wife came, they obviously called her down, and when she met me at the labs and saw me is when I kind of really started to sink in. Like I saw her face. This wasn't like a play moment. Things are about to get real. The initial thoughts are like, okay, I have cancer. Am I gonna live or am I gonna die? I was really emotionally a wreck, just thinking like, well, I'm never gonna see my boys again and stuff. So it took me a little bit of time to kind of hone in, and then once we started getting the appointments going and developing a plan, it was time to kind of hunker down and just get to it. I did my treatment out here in Radnor, and from day one, everyone knew my name and knew who I was as a patient. I wasn't just a name on a clipboard, right? They treated me the person and not just the cancer. I never had any anxiety or any fear of going to treatment. Penn was just so great at making me feel at home in a place, in a situation where I don't think anyone ever wants to call home. I went through 6 weeks of radiation, 5 days a week. Then I went through 7 rounds of chemo. It was really hard, especially having 2 little boys. We were trying to play all the time, and there were some days I just didn't have anything to give. Like physically, I was worn out from treatment. It's hard, but I had a reason. So I kind of created that mantra or whatever you want to say and stuck to it hard. Just take care of the present day. Focus on progress, don't focus on perfection. And then just check the boxes. And then when you check the boxes, if you look at the end, the big box should be checked. I remember we were driving to the grocery store, and in the app, you get an alert and there's a new result. And so I pulled over and we read it. And it said clear. Sorry. And we were just so happy. I mean, we really didn't expect to get that result.
Yay!
And then I had a decision to make whether to have surgery just to be safe, or I could just have a little bit more stricter surveillance. And so that's what I did. I had the surgery, and they actually ran the pathology on what they cut out, and there was no evidence of cancer cells even in that. So it was like, oh, I just did this for nothing. But it was like, no, I knew that it was gone. I would do it again in a second if I was in the same position. I made the right choice to have the surgery. People ask me how I feel. I say, I feel great. I feel like I'm back to myself. My experience at Penn was seamless. It wasn't like this big, cumbersome event that I dreaded. The nurses, the doctors, spending time with me in radiation. I saw those people 5 days a week for 6 weeks. Those ladies who just worked the desk and weren't part of the treatment, they all knew me by name. That's a big deal. And it really affects a person and makes them feel good. I think we're here on Earth, a big reason why is to help others. So if I can get involved somehow, some way, whether it's making a video or it's fundraisers or whatnot, I want to be involved in some capacity.
Work it, Joe. Work the room, Joe.
Don't be scared of a colonoscopy. Younger guys are like, just suck it up and rub some dirt on it. Well, yeah, just suck it up and go get a colonoscopy if you're worried about something, you know what I mean? The easiness of it, and then the peace of mind after, it's worth the uncomfortableness because this is treatable.
There's plenty of trials, plenty of medicines, plenty of surgery options. I did it and it saved my life.